The slumber of demons is not eternal.
The story you're about to hear is completely, factually accurate. It was a warm, rainy night in June 2006, and the gaming industry's many genres had gotten together to throw a party. There was drinking, there was laughing, and by God, there was dancing. But meanwhile, outside, wandering lonely and dejected through the storm, was the RPG genre, thrown out by those nerd-teasing bullies, the sports and shooter genres. And as he sulked, he saw a faint light flickering in the rain, coming from a small window off in the distance. It turns out it was an empty bar, and his feelings in need of some leveling up, the RPG genre walked in and bought himself a drink. After a few face-cringing gulps of sour mash whiskey, he was joined by an old friend who had also been thrown out for being too nerdy. The puzzle genre, her hair just as soaked, and her admittance to the party just as revoked as his. Well, one thing led to another, and one drink led to 7, and 9 months later, in March 2007, Puzzle Quest was born, the illegitimate fruit of the puzzle and RPG genre's drunken loins. Delivered from the womb by developer Infinite Interactive, Puzzle Quest proved to be an infant prodigy, a smart hybrid of puzzle and RPG gaming which was very well received by both critics and consumers alike. Barely a toddler, it has already spawned a spin-off, and last month, this highly anticipated sequel. This is Puzzle Quest 2 for the Xbox 360's Live Arcade. Puzzle Quest obviously takes after Mom and Dad, but to be more specific, this is basically a gem-matching puzzle game in the vein of games like Bejeweled, and it also features plenty of the leveling up and item collection you'd come to expect from RPG games. Indeed, Puzzle Quest turns a simple puzzle game into an epic quest with turn-based puzzle battles and scantily clad barbarian chicks. And strangely enough, it actually works. The game, I mean. Scantily clad barbarian chicks always work, so that should come as no surprise. Puzzle Quest 2 ties its puzzles together with a prototypically Tolkien tale about an ancient and supposedly dormant evil, which, according to rumor, has inexplicably been awakened. And that's where you come in. It's your job to battle all manners of goblins and trolls as you strive to learn if those stories and whispers are true, and if the evil really has been awakened. I don't think it's really a spoiler to tell you it has. I mean, if there were no evil to defeat, this game wouldn't be called Puzzle Quest. It'd be more like Puzzle Disappointment. When the story meets the gameplay, Puzzle Quest 2 is sort of like Lord of the Rings, only with elves and orcs settling their differences not by clashing swords upon the plains, but by playing Bejeweled and agreeing the loser gets his head chopped off. As if Middle-earth weren't already nerdy enough. Obviously, PopCap Games' classic puzzler Bejeweled is the popular basis of comparison for Puzzle Quest, and for good reason. The objective is to line up 3 gems of the same color or more, and each gem performs a unique action when matched. To attack your opponent directly, you'll want to match up the ominous skulls littering the board, but other gems can be very useful too. You can collect gems of each color, for example, to use magic. Some spells deal damage, some have defensive attributes, but they're all very important. The player who loses their health first loses the battle, and a keen use of magic can be every bit as important as good puzzle-solving strategies. In fact, it's a lot more important, because you're not really solving puzzles in Puzzle Quest 2, at least not in the way you might be used to. Of course, this is obviously a puzzle game, but unlike games like Dr. Mario and Tetris, which allow freedom of movement and put the result of the game in your hands, Puzzle Quest 2 feels more like a game of chance. You can only move pieces which will result in a match, and if you can't see any matches, the game highlights one for you. So it feels like the winner is often the luckiest player, not the best puzzle solver. Indeed, you often end up with consecutive chains of even 5 gem matches just by moving pieces the game told you to. Of course, there is strategy to Puzzle Quest 2. In fact, if you want to consistently execute big combos, good strategy is a must. But even that seems predicated on the luck of the draw and which pieces happen to be available on the board. The game even seems to acknowledge that it can be cheap sometimes because it levies no real penalties for losing a battle. To its credit, there is a lot of depth to the overall experience. The game offers several characters to play as, and each has a unique set of attributes which can change the gameplay a bit. The game is also linear, but it creates a nice sense of freedom as well by allowing you to explore your surroundings and even accept side quests. You can even find and upgrade weapons in Puzzle Quest 2, which have been added for use in battle. Along with its multiplayer and online options, there's a lot to like about Puzzle Quest 2 on the Xbox 360. If you can handle some cheap deaths and want to see what Frodo Baggins played as he scaled the summit of Mount Doom, Puzzle Quest 2 is the game for you. A therapeutic fistful of King's Foil for your inner nerd.